Today I'm going to tell you about the true story of a famous opera, Cavalleria Rusticana, and why it is both important, beautiful and tragic. Giovanni Verga was born to a wealthy family in Catania, Sicily, and he wrote the short story Cavalleria Rusticana, which in English translates to rustic chivalry, in 1880, and later adapted it into a theatre play. In 1888, an open competition invited young, unknown Italian composers to submit a one-act opera. The best 3 submissions were to be staged in Rome free of charge before they were judged. Pietro Mascagni from Livorno, Tuscany, was a poor and unsuccessful teacher and conductor. He asked his lifelong friend and collaborator Giovanni Tozzetti to propose a libretto on whose story he would compose an opera. Giovanni Tozzetti chose Cavalleria Rusticana, the popular short story and play by Giovanni Verga. He then went on to work with Guido Menaschi to rework the contents of the libretto. Mascagni rushed to complete the opera in time, but feared it would be a failure. So the story of Cavalleria Rusticana goes something like this. A Sicilian village on Easter Day. Turiddù, a young peasant, is in love with Lola. Now she is toying with his affections. Turiddù returns from military service to find Lola has married Alfio. Intending to make Lola jealous, Turiddù proceeds to seduce Santuzza, who falls hopelessly in love with him. Now Lola is furious that Turiddù should love anyone but her, and proceeds to entice him to visit her house while her husband, Alfio, is away. Santuzza discovers she is pregnant and is outraged to learn of Turiddù's infidelity with Lola. She pleads with him to return to her, but Turiddù is dismissive of her. Enraged and humiliated by the scandal and seeking revenge, Santuzza informs Alfio that Turiddù is having an affair with his wife, Lola. Alfio is outraged and seeks Turiddù, who is drinking in the village square after church, and challenges him to a duel. Turiddù accepts, using the rural custom of first embracing Alfio and then biting his ear. This means the duel is to the death. With a sense of foreboding, Turiddù bids a tragic and sorrowful goodbye to his mother. He then leaves with Alfio for the duel, after which the people learn Turiddù is dead. Cavalleria Rusticana, the one-act opera, opened in 1890 at the Teatro Costanzi in Rome to a half-empty audience. Gemma Bellincioni performed the role of Santuzza along with her husband Roberto Stagno as Turiddù. Those present in the audience, however few, did include a number of influential opera critics, as well as Queen Margherita of Savoy, a well-known lover of music. Cavalleria Rusticana was an instant and overnight success. It received rapturous praise, taking numerous curtain calls before Mascagni was unanimously voted the winner of the competition. After the sold-out performances in Rome, the opera then toured Italy and Europe, performing in Berlin, London, and then moved on to Philadelphia, Chicago, and New York City. Pietro Mascagni went on to enjoy huge success during his lifetime, both as a composer and a conductor. So why was Cavalleria Rusticana so different? Well, traditionally, opera was about kings, courtiers and high society. But Cavalleria Rusticana was different. It used verismo, realism, which focused on the ordinary rural life and how it could be equally powerful and dramatic. Of course, this environment would also resonate more with a wider and lower class audience who would attend operas. Cavalleria Rusticana includes some very powerful music, and its most famous excerpts that you are likely to have heard are the Intermezzo and the Easter hymn. Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci are short operas which are often paired together, since they are both realism in style and focus on the tragic, intense and violent lives suffered by ordinary people. Ironically, Mascagni would fall out with Ruggero Leoncavallo, who composed Pagliacci. Mascagni's work would proceed to be performed by the world-class opera singers of his era, including Enrico Caruso, Beniamino Gigli and Maria Callas. Mascagni's personal tragedy was that while Cavalleria Rusticana was his fortune, it was also a millstone. He was never able to repeat this success again. An older Mascagni complained, "It is a pity I wrote Cavalleria Rusticana first, for I was crowned before I became king." Cavalleria Rusticana was made into a movie on multiple occasions, including, famously, 1982, when it was directed by Franco Zeffirelli, starred Placido Domingo as Turiddù, and part filmed in Vizzini, which is near Catania, if you remember, where Giovanni Verga was born. Mario Lanza, the most famous tenor of his age, performed excerpts of Cavalleria Rusticana in the movie The Great Caruso, and this would then inspire many of the modern opera singers, particularly the tenors. The famous Intermezzo musical extract has featured in the soundtrack of a number of movies, including Raging Bull, starring Robert De Niro, and the ending of The Godfather Part 3. I do hope you love this opera as much as I do, and as much as my late father did. And if you've not heard it, maybe give it a try. Well, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe so that others can see it. Click here for some more videos you may be interested in.